Baby, where you going with that gun? Living all alone on the run. I've been on that same damn road, running down a dead-end street. I've been through that same old shit, don't point that barrel at me. I've been through that same old shit, don't point that barrel at me. Taste at the end of the battle where I lay my sorrows down. Maybe I can't justify that good that I'm feeling now.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to episode 4, No Sleep Till Daytona. Mark's been dynoing all day, kind of been loud in the shop, hard to record. We're working on saddlebags, got to get those bad boys filled in. I had a couple people ask me like, all right, how do you do this? So this is like my way I did it on my 18. So I trimmed it out. I got everything on the back of the bike, and I flattened everything the best I could and lined everything up from side to side. And then I ended up on Amazon. I ordered this 1/4-inch ABS plastic, came in a big square sheet, and then I ended up beveling the edge all the way around. I just basically took it and then stood the bag straight up, traced out the inside was the easiest way I could do it. But then I ended up beveling all of this edge. And then where I messed up when I did my 2018, my buddy Eric Curtis that ended up doing the finish work on the bags and ended up doing the paint job on my 2018, you got to rough up the inside with like 60 or 80 grit as far as the plastics, because we ended up taking, where this is, I put like little supports. That one I put like 12 supports around the cutout, like metal. Like I took like a 90-degree metal bend from one piece to the other, and I melted them in the plastic. And then we took a 2-part adhesive panel bond and ended up going from, you know, the whole inside edge on the inside. We panel bond that, and I don't know, that bike slid down the highway at 60 miles an hour on its saddlebag with no crash bars, and the bag didn't explode. So I'm gonna say we did a pretty good job. So we're gonna go for the same on this. I'm gonna have my buddy Matt Wonderland up at Hazmat Designs up in South Dallas area, Waxahachie. Hopefully he's gonna be able to knock out the paint on this thing for Daytona. So we're gonna get these together. I'm gonna rough everything up all the way around the outside with 60 grit, and then up in here in 60 grit. And then, yeah, I already got one done, so on to the second one. So this is the bevel fit that I got all the way around. It kind of goes a little closer right there. I got to adjust my tape a little bit. And then I just have this Harbor Freight plastic welder for that. I have the fancy one too with like the air gun, and I don't know, and it doesn't work for me. I don't know how to use it right. So I just use this cheap soldering iron style plastic welder, and we're gonna weld these bags up. All right, so I'm working outside. Got it all pretty much welded together. Just gave it a quick sanding, trying to find any bad spots. Found a bad spot here, but don't buy the Harbor Freight plastic welder. This is the second time I broke one. Probably definitely worth the money to go get a nice one if I'm gonna do this again or do any other of this. So yeah, getting some bags together though. Shoo-wee! Chop bags. So we got these. As far as I'm gonna take them, I'm gonna let the painter do all the interior work because he has better stuff for the plastic welding and the little melt-in supports for, you know, the corners. Do some supports, and then I think he's gonna put some sort of bond and adhesive and seal it. So this is as far as I'm going to take it, because my plastic welder totally just, you know, broke on me. So Time to move on to the fender. We end up going with, if you've been following along, I had option A, option B. So we end up doing option B for this. Just kind of got it tacked in here right now. I got to pull the fender back off and then chop off these lower parts. So we'll see what we do with that. And yeah, got to take everything apart. But it's all part of building it. Assemble, disassemble, assemble, disassemble, assemble, disassemble. Got side covers. Screaming Speed Fab. They're on pre-order right now. I've kind of dropped the ball. I've had some issues with production because I get these laser cut and bent, then I weld them, put the stands and do all that. So these going to be start getting delivered extremely soon. And I had a couple little changes, a couple little hiccups and everything. So we need to do that. Finish both side covers. And then this front fender, I gotta sand the curvature a little bit more, you know, get that all set up. It's still just mock-up. So rear fender, saddlebags, side covers, front fender, tank and fairing are staying because we're gonna stay with the anniversary theme. But she's looking good. Let's give it a backup view. Woo-wee!
That era was like the quintessential era for rock and roll.
Yeah.
For guys that wanted to get laid.
Yeah, totally. And the crazy thing is I had never ever, you know, again, it makes sense a decade later, like, oh, well, fuck, we were just going to put out a record and maybe do a couple of shows and maybe go to Japan and break up because we all hated each other. That'd be it. You know, it'd be 17 years. But when we showed up for the first day of pre-production for this tour, and I remember this dude pushing 2 huge carts, like the plastic ones we had like that, but they were full of just bottles and cases. He's like, hey man, you guys Bug Cherry? I'm like, yeah man. He's like, oh, my name's Ernst. I'm the hospitality guy. And I go, what? He's like, hospitality, you know, the guys that get the drugs and the girls. And I'm like, oh. He goes, so if you ever need anything, just let me know. I'm like, yeah.
As a matter of fact.
And every day, dude, they had 2 buses. Every day, that's what he did. He literally was in charge of getting their alcohol, setting up the hospitality room. I mean, I like to think that the 80s were excess because of all the shit that I read and grew up with. But then when I think about that, like 2005 through 2012, it's got to hold a candle to it. I'm thinking about like a bunch of this, just what I can remember. And every day, it was Groundhog. Like it was another arena.
It's kind of like, yeah, it's kind of like in the movie Dirt, where it shows, you know, Tommy Lee, that little part where it's like,
yeah.
I did this, I woke up, I freaking did that.
I woke up, I fucking, and you know, at one point in time, I remember the highlight of everything was finding a place to take a shit in the morning where nobody was around you. Like literally walking on the other side of the compound to try to find a bathroom where nobody was around.
Yeah. So we're working on the rear fender and just checking clearances and everything. I already checked it before, but now everything's kind of cut and mocked up. But this is, at this close, this is 10 inches center to center. And these are 14-inch shocks, and it was a 3.25 inches of travel in the rear. So we are golden as far as not ever smashing the tire into there. For anybody that was wondering, with, you know, this style of a cut, we should be all right. So I'm gonna jack it back up, get the shocks back on there.